Good afternoon, I'm TheZOMBIEJ. I wasn't going to do album reviews anytime soon, but this is one I feel that is important, and you should feel it important too if you are a Bionicle fan. This is, of course, the album Cryoshell by Cryoshell. Self-titled debut album released on June 7th of 2010. 14 years ago. Damn. And you know what? This album still holds, it still stands the test of time. After 14 years, wow. It's still a lot of bangers on this album. Trust me. They were going to reissue the CD at some point, but plans for that kind of fell by the wayside and never happened. But thanks to Amazon, we got this version. Yeah. It's not the same, but it's better than nothing. Otherwise, you can download the album, you can listen to it via Amazon's Music Unlimited thing, or Spotify, or what have you. This album consists of 10 tracks and clocks in a little under 41 minutes. So, not a very lengthy album, but it makes up for that lack of length in sheer, talent and, well, listenability. This album has a lot to offer. And you know what? They're still working on the second one, and at this point, I don't give a shit anymore. Cryoshell, as a band, is definitely one that is, it was part of my childhood, I remember Creeping in My Soul, I remember Bye Bye Babylon, I remember Gravity Hurts, I remember all those songs. I tend to gravitate towards the original recordings of those songs, as opposed to the ones on this album, but these are still pretty solid as well. The song opens up with the title track, or not title track, with the first actual single from the album, Creeping in My Soul. This is a re-recording, and it matches the rest of the rest of the songs on the album. For the most part, it takes elements from the original song and the demo version of the original song and puts them together in a weird way. You'll probably understand if you've heard both those versions of the original song. And then you listen to this, and this one actually sounds better, in my opinion. The production on this entire album, it has like a murky and dark atmosphere to it, while still sounding, in some cases, heavy, but also in some cases melancholic as well. It's a nice touch. This album has been compared to albums from the likes of Evanescence and Delane. Delane, I don't see that comparison very valid at all, but Evanescence, okay, I can accept that. Thing is, I like Christine Lorenzen's vocals more than I like Evanescence, Amy Lee's vocals. Just my opinion. Shut up. Christine Lorenzen is a fantastic vocalist. She has quite a range, and she is capable of doing a lot. And there are moments of beauty. There are moments of, in some ways, horror. And in some ways, there are moments of, just musically sheer technical prowess. This is a band that has a lot of talent, even though some reviewers have claimed that judging by this album, that this sounds like a copy or clone of Evanescence. Fuck you. Seriously. I don't think those reviewers know what they're talking about. Listen. Cryoshell's self-titled may have a few elements here and there that sound somewhat similar to what you might hear on Fallen by Evanescence. And I think we can point out some of these. The guitars are definitely quite chunky in a way, quite murky, and there's a lot of depth and dynamisy here. The first 9 tracks will definitely have some great guitar work on them for you, and there's a lot of orchestral and symphonic elements. This is a symphonic metal album, if you will. The genres that this also falls into besides symphonic metal are, well, alternative metal, hard rock, new metal, and, well, alternative rock. This is a fantastic album. Bye Bye Babylon is the longest track on the album, and it's only track 2. This is actually an extended version of the single that was used for, well, Bionicle the Legend Reborn. So, this is a fantastic song. This is probably a rock classic, I'd say, for the 2010s era. This was definitely a hard-hitting, punch-to-the-teeth song, even though there's still the symphonics that are in there. And the drums throughout this album, throughout the first 9 tracks, in general, just the kick is really, well, I like the sound of the kick drum. It's incredible. And the snare, I don't know who the drummer was at this time, but you can really like slap that stick down onto the drum set. Whoever's behind the kit is definitely a worthy drummer. The symphonic elements definitely adds a lot of greatness to this album, and that's obviously seen with songs like I don't know, Closer to the Truth, which is track 5, or Falling, or The Room. Come to My Heaven is actually drum-wise and guitar-wise, probably one of the heavier songs on here. Also, you'll hear after the first chorus, you'll hear a vocal thing going rah, and it's pretty meaty. Bass is pretty good on this album too. Murky is the 9th track on the album. Another thing you'll hear on this album is the addition of keyboards, which is another addition to the dark atmosphere entangled in this album. Trigger is track number 3 on this album, and you know, I really do like this song. There's a guitar solo. There are guitar solos on this album. Yes, guitar solos in a Cryoshell album. The Trigger guitar solo is kind of reminds me of classic solos from classic rock artists. And then the solo in Bye Bye Babylon is just unforgettable. I mean, really. Creeping in My Soul does have like a pseudo-rap section by a male vocalist, so you can easily compare this song to Bring Me to Life, which features some male vocalist doing the rap section. So I can kind of see that. Hell, someone tried to make a mashup of the 2 songs and called it Creeping Into Life, Evanescence x Cryoshell. I don't like that mashup. It's kind of weird. I do like Creeping in My Soul and Bring Me to Life both individually. When you combine the 2, it sounds nightmarish. Feed is a curious track. I mean, musically and vocally, it's very well sound. I do like the music on this song. There's definitely some heavy guitar work, and the drums definitely are snapping. The bass is pretty good. The curious part about this track is the lyrical content. I'm not entirely sure what to think of it, except perhaps the concept of masturbation. It's definitely something that kind of makes me feel uneasy, even now in 2024. It's weird, it's slightly off-putting, but hey, if you can get past the lyrical context and the context behind the lyrics of this song, you might enjoy it. Just be wary of it. I'm not sure what the song is generally about, but, you know, it's an idea. So for these first 9 tracks, you get a lot of great material. The production is murky. The production is very well sounded. And it seems like the audio levels between, you know, the bass, the guitars, the drums, the vocals, the symphonic elements, the keys, and other fancy little tricks they had up their sleeves at the time, it all seemed to be very well established. The production of this album is incredible for 2010. Then we come to track 10, No More Words. And this is a ballad. This is a literal ballad. They ended the album on a ballad, and it's the shortest song on the album, being 3 minutes and 42 seconds. And it's really simple, lyrically. And I'm not sure what the song is about lyrically, but I can understand that some people probably don't care, but hey. This song has no guitars, has no bass, has no drums, but it does have symphonic elements, including, well, the thing you get from an orchestral makeup of a song. So, you want to call that a ballad? It's an orchestral ballad. They've done this with a version of Gravity Hurts in 2018, so, like, or classical edition. But this is kind of like the softest song on the album. And it also adds a little bit more of a... it shows that Cryoshell is capable of doing some dynamic stuff. There is dynamisty on this album, and there is a lot of fantastic musicianship, interesting lyrical content, even if you may not fully understand the lyrics. And the vocals in general are just pretty fucking fantastic. I would hold Christine Lorenzen higher than Amy Lee, and I already do, because I love Christine Lorenzen that much. Her vocals are fantastic. Just listen to this album and you'll understand. Amy Lee is good, but I prefer Christine Lorenzen. Overall, this album definitely has a lot going for it for a debut from a band of my childhood, of other Bionicle fans' childhood. And altogether, this album is pretty much the best we could probably get out of a Cryoshell debut album. And it's pretty sad that this might be the only album we get from them, even though we've gotten plenty of singles. Even a collaborative single with Essinger. I don't see Next to Machines coming out anytime soon, so I'll just keep spinning this album and we'll enjoy it. I give this album a 9.5 out of 10. It's not 100% perfect, but there's just a slight bit of inconsistency, and also the lyrics for the track Feed are just kind of unsettling in a way. I don't know how you feel about it, but hey, let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, that's my review on Cryoshell, self-titled. I actually love this album. I was definitely lucky to get this off of Amazon, the Amazon edition, quote unquote. And They don't do it anymore. They have it digitally, though. So, I would recommend going to Amazon and get the MP3, if you will. It's only $9. And, yeah, so this was definitely a great album to listen to. You know, if you're really feeling moody in a way, like you're in a dark mood or a doom and gloom, pop this album on, and it really will put you in a better mood, probably. There's a little bit of doom and gloom to this album. Lyrically, for some songs, there seems to be a bit of a rebellion or revolution type of ideas. And that's pretty interesting. Overall, I love this album. And I'm going to go on and say this. It's the second best album of 2010. Wanna know what the number one is? Hellbilly Deluxe 2 by Rob Zombie. That's correct. Both these albums came out in 2010, and they were at the top for me. So, let me know what you think about Cryoshell Self-Titled in the comment section below. Review the album yourself. And, yeah. It was definitely nostalgic. I was definitely getting some nostalgic vibes listening to this album again. And I really do enjoy it. It's definitely one of my favorite albums of all time. And, yeah. Mostly because of nostalgia, but also because I just love this album. It's a great album. It's not a clone of anything. It just simply takes some of those ideas from early Evanescence, probably the Fallen era, and kind of magnifies it a little bit. Makes it a little bit better, in a way, but also, you know, you just listen to the album and you'll probably recognize the fact that this is a band that had talent and showcased it seriously well on this album, but they just haven't been releasing albums ever since then. You know, if we do get Next to Machines at some point, I'll definitely review that, but at the same time, it seems like we might not be getting it anytime soon. And that's sad. That really is sad. I am grateful that we got this album, though. So, I will be reviewing a couple of LEGO products today, and then that'll probably be it for today. So, stay tuned for more videos. I'm TheZOMBIEJ. I'll see you folks there. Have a good fucking day, and peace.